Well, hey, what's up? Glad to be with you today on the Warehouse Podcast. It's been a minute since I've gotten to join, and so I'm like really glad to be able to talk with you guys today. Joining me today, I've got Stephanie.
Hello.
And Parker Robbins.
Hello, Governor.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's
he's not, in fact, British. But if you didn't know. To kick off today, as we're like getting to know each other and building some rapport,
yes.
I want to know for each of you guys, what was the first thing you remember, like as a kid, what's the first thing you remember wanting to be whenever you grew up?
I wanted to be a doctor. That
Okay.
was like the thing I wanted to do.
How old were you?
Oh gosh, I was like 5-ish.
Yeah.
My parents used to watch the show ER.
Uh-huh. And you saw that and it made you want to be a
Yes.
doctor?
I'm like, I want to do that.
Okay.
It didn't happen.
That's something I never wanted to be.
Why?
Well,
Blood.
I pass out.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't
Yeah.
bother me.
Okay.
But I mean, I get to doula every now and
That's
then.
true.
That's not a
You do
doctor.
doula.
I do doula.
Yeah.
But I'm also not doulaing anymore either. So
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah, you're like, this is not an advertisement.
Yes.
Please do not call Stephanie to deliver your baby.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that has to do with...
Oh, yeah, you didn't know what a doula was, did you?
No.
Well, it's okay. I didn't know what a doula was until we were like prepping to have our first.
Oh.
Mhm.
I'm like, what is this wizardry?
Yeah.
Now you know.
Nathan's like the baby expert now.
I would not say that.
I wouldn't say that either.
The child expert.
I just have had.
He's had a
I've
lot
been
of
present
children.
for 5 of them.
Yeah. So Tia is,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure.
for sure.
but yeah, okay. And then, did you ever like as you got older, did you think about going into medical or? Okay.
All the way up until I was my freshman year of college.
Okay.
I had a horrible anatomy teacher, and so I switched from a nursing track to cosmetology.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So-
awesome.
It's wild, like what a bad teacher can do for your
Yes.
academic career.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so here we are,
Okay.
not doing either.
Did you finish your cosmetology degree?
I did.
Cool.
Mm.
Awesome. I've seen many people's hair that you have bleached or colored or cut.
Right. So if I didn't have a cosmetology
Yep.
degree, that would be pretty bad.
I
Because
guess
you've
so.
seen many that I've done.
Yeah. Yeah. You could be operating without a license.
That'd be bad.
I don't think that's a thing.
It
I don't
is.
think okay. Coloring someone's hair without a license.
You can get
Is
in big
illegal?
trouble. Yes.
Do you have a license?
Yes.
Well, but you'd have to charge for it. That would only be if you charged
you have
for
to
it,
renew
right?
it, don't you?
Yeah, I renew it every 2
Because
years.
it's
Oh,
like,
you
I mean,
do?
Sarah colors her own hair. or
Right.
colors other-
That's different.
It just is a friend.
Right.
Okay. But if you were charging for it and didn't have a license.
That'd be bad.
Okay.
I think.
Good to know.
So you can
Right?
get paid
Well-
for it then.
I need to make some
Yes.
phone calls.
Dang.
Just kidding.
You should become like...
Not about you. I was saying I need to stop my black market hair coloring business.
How awesome would it be if we like opened up a room like in the void and we turned it into a little cosmetology room for you?
Not
I would
very.
not like it.
I feel like you're really latched onto this idea and
Yeah.
it's not a good idea.
And 10% off,
No.
Okay.
if you remember.
Yeah, perks of being a member here.
Stephanie will color your hair in a dark room.
Whenever you want.
for
The
10%
voice.
off.
Stephanie, mine stemmed from a TV show as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
What was it?
Pokemon.
Okay.
What
You wanted to be a
Did you want to be a
Pokemon?
Pokemon? Like Bulbasaur or something?
No. Pikachu, but no.
Pika.
Yeah.
Pika Pika.
Pika. Yeah, but I watched one episode of Pokemon growing up, and I watched it multiple times. It was the very first episode where the main character meets Pikachu, and they go to into this doctor guy's office. This is like deep memories right now.
I love this.
And there's Pokeballs, and Ash I think that's his name, Ash.
Yep.
Ash catch him, and he starts picking them up and looking at them or something. And I just remember looking at those Pokeballs and I was like, I want to do that too, you know? So then for my very first assignment in kindergarten, we were assigned with drawing like a full-size picture of yourself.
Full size?
Yes, like multiple sheets of paper taped
Oh,
together.
wow.
or maybe it was butcher paper. It was butcher paper. And we had to draw ourselves as what we wanted to be when we grew up. And it was like this huge mural on the wall of all these kids doing what they wanted to do. And I was a Pokemon trainer.
Were you holding a Pokeball?
I was.
Yes.
And I even
Did you
made
have
my
a hat
clothes.
on?
Yeah, I made my clothes look like Ash Ketchum.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I was so happy with myself. And then after that, I didn't ever watch Pokemon again.
At what point did you realize that this was not a realistic career choice for you?
I think a bunch of kids told me you'll never be a Pokemon trainer, and I believed it.
Wow.
So, yeah. And in kindergarten, it's like, oh man, you're right. It's just a cartoon. Yeah.
Okay, so it was based on the reality of the fact that this position did not actually exist.
Yes.
They were not saying that you didn't have the skills and competency for it.
Yeah, they were just telling me like that's not a real thing.
Okay.
And I was like, well,
That feels
then I
better.
guess it's impossible to do it then.
Wow. That takes away your imagination, though.
I know. But a young man in Tribe actually made me a crocheted, I think is the right word, or like a stuffed Pokeball. Yeah.
Oh, that's
and it's
cool.
at my desk right now. Yep.
That's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
So you could still pursue your dreams.
That's right.
All right, Nathan.
For me, like the earliest thing I remember was just wanting to be a musician. So
Okay, so out of all of ours,
mine was the closest to like where I ended up landing.
Fruition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think I was talking with my daughter Abby the other day, and she just asked me like, so you work at the church? I'm like, yes. And she's like, what do you do? And I'm describing some of the things, but she's like, I want to work at the church one day and play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, that's actually not the majority of what I do. I don't just like sit around and play guitar. But yeah, I wanted to, I wanted to be a musician. And I wasn't like, for a while I wanted to be like a touring musician or whatever. I also like wanted to own a music store, for a while. One of my pet peeves with music stores was that you'd go pick up guitars and they were often like way out of tune or had old strings or were just not set up well. I'm like, man, what if I had a music store and we actually like had the instruments just always, in tune, which is not realistic, but I thought I could make the world a better place. So
Aw,
Yeah.
anyway,
I love that.
I do too.
It's a retirement
Good job.
there we go.
Okay, so kicking it off, we're transitioning
For
into
sure.
our conversation about today.
Mm-hmm.
So today, actually, Parker and Nathan are going to be teaching this coming week.
Yeah.
So this is going to look a little bit different. We're not going to go line by line, verse by verse through a text.
Yeah,
We're
for our podcast today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about like, what does this look like? What are we doing different here at Cornerstone?
Yeah.
What is God stirring in us right now? And so let's talk about it. Nathan, you want to go first?
For sure. So like, we started on this series in Colossians, and it's going to be an 8-week series, but this one that we're talking about today is kind of a one-off, a standalone. And it's, there's an idea brought by Madison Berry to our lead team that we love the idea of what if whenever we have a fifth Sunday, I mean, those are the fifth Sundays are the weeks that we are going to do like child dedication. We're like, what if on a day that we're already like putting a lot of family in the room and an emphasis on that, what if we also made it like a family worship service where, parents were encouraged to bring their kids in, where the kids get to watch their parents worshiping. They get to engage in the same teaching. They get to have like good conversations, maybe even pray over their kids and stuff in there. And we just love the idea, that we could on occasion have everybody in the room together. There will still be like, a childcare stuff, or like kids services will still be going on. But we're just going to encourage any parents who want to bring their kids with them into the worship center. So with that, we are taking, we're going to have a slightly shortened teaching. It's going to be 20 minutes instead of more like the 35. And we're also breaking it up between two teachers, between me and Parker Robbins, which this will be Parker's first time teaching from main platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited too that like for my first time, like I get to be teaching, my kids like that. That's really exciting for me. And that like, and
Parker does not actually have children.
No, not
But he
my
considers
kids.
Cornerstone kids.
But you love these kids
I love
as
them
if they
so
were your
much.
own.
Yes, that's right. And like it's going to be really good because of the consistency that they have of the elementary kids, me teaching them usually, and for them to like be able to come into service and to be able to see a familiar face up on stage.
Yeah.
I think that'll be,
that too.
yeah, I'm really excited.
And so we chose, we decided to also like make sure that this teaching is very accessible for both kids and parents. We want it to be something that's like, we're teaching the Bible in its fullness, but we're teaching it in terms that like kids and parents will both equally be able to understand, which just makes for good conversation. So, we chose a couple, like two very closely related passages in Mark, that they're only separated by a few verses, and they both have to do with Jesus interacting with children and using kids to teach his disciples something. And I'm just excited about it. So I get to teach the first part of it. Do you want me to, like, I can share like the stuff I'm excited about with it, and then we can kind of talk.
What part of Mark are you teaching?
Yeah, we're teaching from Mark chapter 9 and 10.
Okay.
Okay. And so when we're thinking about Mark, Mark is one of the four gospels. It's one of three synoptic gospels. So synoptic meaning that they saw things the same way or they were looking through the same lens. That they, Matthew, Mark, and Luke all are very similar, and John has a very different flair to it. Mark is known for like being short and brief and very fast paced. Lots of him saying like immediately they went and did this and immediately they went and did that. He's focused a lot on the action of what's happening. And so leading up to our passage, we see that leading up to Mark 9, we see that the transfiguration has happened where Jesus goes up on the mountain with Peter, James, and John, and they see him in his glory along with Moses and Elijah. They hear a voice from heaven. So like there's been, you've also had, Jesus asking them who they thought he was, and him, and Peter saying, you're the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus saying, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but the Father has revealed it. And so there's starting to be like a growing understanding of like who Jesus really is. And as that's growing, like there's some excitement among the disciples. There's also some like sinful tendencies that are entering in that they're kind of jockeying for position. They want to like be closely associated with Jesus in such a way that they like want to be thought of as important and significant and very closely associated with Jesus. And so that's kind of where it's picking up. Anything you guys want to say there? I realize I'm talking quite a bit. Okay. I've got some extra words pent up from not having been on this podcast for a while. Sorry, everybody.
No.
Okay. So then the passage that I'm teaching on is going to be, what does Jesus show us about leadership?
Okay.
And whenever he, by the way, he interacts with a child, because there's this situation where Jesus and his disciples are returning to, I actually haven't looked up yet whether to say it Capernaum or Capernaum. I've heard it both ways. I generally say Capernaum, but I'm going to have to figure out which one is right. But they're returning there, which is kind of like a home base for their operations. And I actually didn't realize that until we were studying this one. It's like whenever Jesus kicked off his ministry, it says that like as he was beginning his ministry, he began living in Capernaum. So I thought that was pretty cool. The idea that it's kind of like a home base for him, that they would go out and do ministry and then they'd return here, and this was like a safe place for them. And as they're traveling, he catches wind that his disciples are talking about who's going to be the greatest. That word greatest is the Greek word for that is actually like mega. And so it's like, you know, the biggest, the most important, to the greatest extent, who's going to have the most importance. He catches wind of that and he waits. He doesn't address it like right then and there, but as they're getting back home, he says, hey, what are you guys discussing along the way? Which I just think is like a brilliant move, because he could have just said, hey guys, I heard that you're talking about who's the greatest. Knock it off. But we can tell that he actually knew what was going on, because they didn't answer, and he still addresses right exactly what they were talking about. Yeah. So he sits down, which is something that rabbi would do whenever they would teach, is that they would sit down and their students would stand. So he's going into rabbi mode here for a minute. And he tells them that if anyone would be first, they must be last and servant of all. Which I just love, because in that we see this is exactly what Jesus modeled, right? He is the God who literally was like first before everything else. He's the one the only one who actually deserves glory.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who deserves to have everyone else serving him. But he set that aside and became last of all and servant of all. And we see that throughout his life. We see that in his sacrificial death. We see it in like him washing his disciples' feet at the Last Supper. And so Jesus models this. And so he's saying, like, the way you think about leadership, like the way the world thinks about it is that the first shall be first. That if you want to like be a leader, if you want to be important, the way you know you're important is that other people serve you. And he says, that's not the way it works in my kingdom. Like, if you want to be a leader, then you take the lowest position and serve other people.
Yeah.
And then he steps in and he takes, there's a child that he puts in the middle of them. I imagine that they're sitting down in the house and there's a kid who walks by and said, hey, come on over here. Come on over here. And he takes him in his arms, which that is like, it means that he embraced or hugged him. Like he just wraps his arm around him. Yeah. And he said to his disciples, as he's hugging this kid, whoever receives one such child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me. And in that moment, we see two things. So one, we see Jesus identifying with the weakest person in the room. Like in their society, they thought of children as weak and even not adding a lot of value. We'd seen some stats that a lot of kids in their time like didn't live past 5. There's just so many like childhood illnesses and everything that's like so whenever they would see kids, they thought like, hey, they might not even live to adulthood. Also, they're just kind of like a drain on society right now. They have nothing to contribute to it and stuff. And so they did not place much value on it. And so Jesus is taking like the least powerful person in the room and he's wrapping his arms around the child and says, whenever you receive a child, you're receiving me. He's identifying with him and saying, it's like whenever Jesus says to his followers, like, hey, whatever you did for the least of these, you did to me, as you gave them a cup of cold water, as you gave them food and clothing and shelter. And he's identifying with them. He's saying, whenever you serve the least among you, you're serving me. And that applies not only to the outcast, but it applies to kids.
Yeah.
And so I just find that like humbling whenever I think about parenting and whenever I think about like the way I interact with kids. Like there are times whenever I get home from work or whatever, and I just want to like chill out and like be done with stuff. And whenever I hear these words from Jesus, I'm like, pretty convicted to think about, hey, if you're going to say that you're a leader at church, you can't come home and then treat kids like they're a nuisance. And so like it encourages me to like receive my kids in the same way that I would receive Jesus. And as we do that, we're also receiving the Father. And then the other thing that I see there, so we see Jesus saying, I identify with the least of these. We also see him modeling it, that as a leader, he's saying, you can tell a lot about a person by the way they interact with people who they perceive as powerless or not valuable to their mission or whatever. So sometimes we look at, so he's saying you can tell a lot about a person by the way they interact with the lowest among you. He's saying, if you want to be first, if you want to be a leader, then you need to be a servant of all, including kids and outcasts and the weak of society and the least of these. So I see that, and I see like an encouragement from looking at a child, an encouragement toward like the way we should interact with kids and other people. So that's what I'm excited about for my passage.
Yeah.
I just talked for a long time. What thoughts or questions do you guys have?
I was just thinking about yesterday, whenever you were talking to me about your sermon and you were kind of going through like you just did. And I loved seeing just the expertise of your tenderness towards like talking to this, like you're talking to a child, to where they can totally understand it. And like, it's just really awesome to see that, to see like how you can tell that you do it a lot, that you have really like honed in on, talking to kids and to, especially your children, like you said, like whenever they go to bed and they have a question or something, just the tenderness of being able to explain that and talk to them at their level. I'm really excited for the kids to be able to get this message from you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. So I was not in on exegesis this week, so I don't know what all you guys have discussed. So I'm going to be asking the question really quick. But Nathan, if I remember, like, you love the book Family Discipleship by Matt Chandler and Adam, what's his name? Why can't I think of it?
Yeah.
Can
Griffith?
you Griffith? Yes, I think that's right. So are you going to tie any of that into this?
Yeah. So, and I think there might actually be a point later on in the series that we do more of that. Because this one, so we were talking about, like, do we use this as a moment to, like, teach parents, or do we use it? And so I think we're more leaning toward, like, how do we present some things that are accessible for both parents and kids? But yeah, family discipleship. I mean, the emphasis in family discipleship is that, like, God uses, like, the really ordinary stuff of life, parents being intentional in the ordinary stuff. That's what he uses to help kids become disciples. And so it's like, he calls out time, moments, and milestones. Time is just like making sure that you've got quality time with your kids, that you're not just rushing past and taking them to different things, to ball games all the time, or like getting on to the next thing, but that you are actually stopping and seeing them. Moments, moments, we've got, like, how do we create some intentional moments for us? Like, the biggest one of those is our evening, like our family worship in the evenings. And it's simple. Like, I say family worship and people are just like, can be like, man, we don't have time for that. It's like, sometimes it's often like 5 minutes. And it's reading a Bible story, either from, like, the Jesus Storybook Bible, or we've got a book that we're doing right now called Long Story Short. And it's very simple, a passage of scripture and a few questions. And so we read, sing, and pray. And even singing, it's like we'll sing a chorus of a favorite worship song, or like a verse of a hymn or something. And then we pray together. Very simple, but, like, the most meaningful conversations I've had with my kids around spiritual things have stemmed from that one simple practice. And then the milestones piece is, like, taking advantage of things like birthdays or rites of passages, or, like, significant moments like a baptism or those kinds of things, latching onto those as a milestone, like a moment to pause and remember. So it's like, we've started on birthdays, not just giving gifts, but also, like, giving words of affirmation, like things that we see, like ways that we've seen their character grow. And we've often even encouraged the other people who join us for birthday celebration, like, hey, what's something that you love about Silas? And it's just like, it's a cool thing.
I love that.
Wow. I love that too. Yeah.
Okay. So how about for you, Parker?
Yeah,
so you've got the second section. What's your story about?
Yes. So, as you said earlier, our passages are very close to each other.
I was reading 9:33 through 37, and then you're just 10:13 through 16.
Yes. So, you said Jesus was in Capernaum, and what he's doing is he's kind of finishing up his teaching right there. And then at the beginning of chapter 10, it says that he like left Capernaum, and then he entered the region of Judea. And when he got there, crowds were just like swarming him because it's Jesus. And Pharisees were coming, and Pharisees, like, right off the bat, were starting to, like, test Jesus, like trying to make him look stupid, kind of trying to catch him in, like, a mess up or something. So it's in the middle of that where my story takes place. Well, Mark's story, I should say, in chapter 10. So they were just trying to test Jesus. And then Jesus just, he does what he does. He talks at their level. He doesn't just, like, scream or yell at them. Like, he does a solid teaching. And then after that, this is whenever it starts with, and they were bringing children to him that he might touch them, and the disciples rebuked them. So kind of the setting of what's going on here is that parents and guardians are bringing their children to Jesus. And this word right here, bringing children to him, is more like offering children to Jesus. And we kind of get this misconception that, like, at least I did whenever I first read this, that it was to heal their kids. But as like Nathan talked about, like, children were not looked at very highly in this society. So for Jesus to like bless their kids would be a really huge deal. And after that we read, and the disciples rebuked them.
They rebuked the parents, right?
They rebuked the parents.
Yeah.
Yes. For bringing their kids in. And you kind of read that and it's like, Jesus just kind of touched on this, like the importance of
how you receive kids.
Yes. And like, and how we're lead to serve everyone, like no matter who they are, even kids. And it's like, and when we serve kids, we're serving Jesus, right? Like this is fresh on their mind. And the disciples rebuked them. They said like, we don't have time for this, kind of basically. And then in verse 14, it says, but when Jesus saw it, he was indignant. And this word indignant, this is the only time that it's like used with Jesus. Basically means that he's upset. Like he's upset. And there's like a weightiness to this upset, because right after that, he says, and he said to them, to the disciples, let the children come to me. Do not hinder them. Right. So there's like let them come to me, like don't stop them, but then directly at them, like do not hinder them. Like there's a weightiness to that. Like this is a really big deal. And it's because like the disciples think that there are more important things that are going on here. And Jesus is like, hold on, like, no, like I have time for this. Like, this is the reason I'm here. Like, and it's a really big deal to him. And it's kind of shocking when you first read this, because in Nathan's passage, like he took the disciples into like a separate place. He sat them down and he explained to them like what was wrong. And in this setting, we see that he's doing it like in public in front of everyone. And the reason he's doing that is because like the disciples were being indignant to these parents who were bringing their kids. They were sinning against the crowd, basically, all these people. And Jesus had to really prove a point in front of the disciples and in front of this entire crowd. Like, these kids, they matter to me. Do not hinder them. Like, they are welcome. For such belongs the kingdom of God.
Yeah, it's kind of like, so Jesus is teaching so much as he travels. He's teaching so much about the kingdom of God, like in words and word pictures and parables and stuff. And here he's got a real life example of the disciples are trying to determine who they think the kingdom of God belongs to. And they're saying it doesn't include kids. It includes like the people who like can come and add value to it and stuff. And Jesus is like, you're absolutely wrong. And you're preaching a false message about the kingdom as you do this.
Yes. Yeah. Because when you think about like the dynamic of a child to like a parent, right? When a kid is born, are they really like offering things to their parents? Are they really bringing like any, I don't want to say value, but are they really bringing anything that's going to like increase the parent's platform or something? Right. Yeah. Like, and it's like,
they're not contributing to the relationship. It's like, it's a very one-sided thing.
Yes, exactly.
They're so cute.
They are cute. So they do add that, I suppose.
And like, and what we see here is like kids, they have to be humble. They have to be dependent, right? They're completely trusting in their parents.
And with that, it's like, it just comes natural. So it's not like a baby has to say like, okay, mom, I guess I'll like set aside my own pride and ego and let you feed me. It's like, a kid just does that naturally. But at some point, as we grow and develop, we end up in like thinking that we ought to be independent.
I think it's around age 2.
Yes.
A little bit before.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is why it's so important whenever Jesus says in 15, truly I say to you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God like a child shall not enter it. He's stating on that point how like adults, whenever they grow up, right? They're not, they don't think they need to be humble or dependent, right? Because they're adults, right? Like
they have it all figured out.
Yeah. So like coming to like receiving the kingdom of God,
so good,
like a child. I mean, it's good. Yeah. And it's like, we read that and it's so easy to think like, at least for me personally, it's like, okay, I need to be more ignorant. I need to have more blind faith. And I know those are really negative terms, but like, but that's not really at all what he's saying. He's saying like, I need you to be humble like you were when you were a child, like when it came naturally to you, like I need you to be dependent on me. Right. And then we see in 16, and he took them in his arms, same thing that he does in chapter 9, basically hugging this child, hugging these children. And he took them in his arms and blessed them, laying his hands on them. Like he was so pleased to do this to a child, with a society that didn't think that they had value. And Jesus is like, no, like
they do.
You are valuable to me. Yeah. Like, so yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah. So Parker, you switched tracks here recently. So you were going to be pastor, like
specifically teaching track.
Yeah. Teaching track. There we go. That's now you're going kids pastor, right? So your heart has really stirred for children. Yeah. So like whenever I first started my residency, I knew that it was in teaching of some sort, whatever that looked like. And it kind of seemed like just naturally it was, or at least in my own head, it was like kind of like, okay, well, that means I need to be like a like lead pastor or something somewhere. And something that the Lord has just made abundantly clear to me in the time of being here is like, it's actually more towards being a kids like teacher, a kids pastor. Just right now, that's the season that he has me in. I love it.
And I think with the gifts that he's given me, that's where when I put my hand to the plow, it's going to produce the most fruit.
I personally am very stoked for this. So my daughter absolutely loves Parker. So Parker is coming to teach at my kids' school and give for their chapel this coming week. And Emerson was trying to explain to her brother Bennett who Parker was. She's like, he's my pastor. And so like Parker has impacted so many kids. And, you know, I'm extremely thankful that you've chose this direction. And I think it's like the perfect fit for you.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. And Nathan, me and you kind of had a conversation last week about the fifth Sunday. So how some parents could feel like uncomfortable to bring their kids in there. And you shared with me, you're like, hey, if a baby is crying, like, please stay. That's just another sign of life to us.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
And that like touched me a lot from being a mom who has left the worship center so many times because my kid would get crazy or loud and you would encourage them, stay.
Yeah. And at least like, I mean, sometimes you step out or whatever, but it's I don't want a feeling of like, oh my gosh, these people are like irritated with me or annoyed with me because my kid's crying. It's like all of our kids cry. Like it's fine. We're glad that like, that your kids are coming to Jesus, that you're in there with them, and that it's a sign of us being able to partner with parents. Because that's really how we think about kids ministry here. It's not just like, hey, drop your kids off so we can minister to you and they can minister to your kids and stuff. It's like we want to partner with parents. We want to see parents who are growing. We want to see kids who are growing. We want to see parents who are helping kids growing. So it's all around.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's like, we don't need to feel freaked out or worried if our kids start to act up a little bit.
Yeah. And I love that because that gives a lot of comfort to me as a mom. Because I mean, I have a little boy who just loves to.
It's a little rambunctious sometimes.
Yeah, he's gonna run.
Little boys.
There's something different.
There's something different.
They have like no fear.
I'm just saying that from like me growing up as a kid.
They are something. Well, I'm excited. This is going to be great. Chris Sherrill emailed us, the warehouse, the other day and came up with a new name for us. Okay. She's going to keep doing this until I stop saying the Podstalkers. Yes.
I am in support of this.
No, we're not. But it's fine. It's going to be the Warehouse Wise because of warehouse wisdom. So the Warehouse Wise. Do you think we can remember that,
I thought you said the Warehouse Wives.
Like, that feels like it hits a subsection of the demographic of the target market.
Wise.
I am not one of the words.
Or say it.
Wise.
You do. Do you just?
I don't know how I say it.
Wise. Wise.
Okay.
Not wives.
Not wives.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Well, that's it. That's
Yeah.
all we had.
Yay.
I'm excited about it. It's going to be a fun weekend. And then the following week, we'll get back into Colossians. It's going to be good. I'm excited about this. I think we're also talking about like, so this will be a child dedication weekend. We're talking about like a moment even to like pause and pray over our kids.
Love that.
So I'm excited about it. It'll be a time for us to be together. One of the things that we'd said several times in prepping for this is like, sometimes you hear, that like kids are the church of tomorrow. It's like, actually kids are the church of today.
Yeah.
If they belong to Jesus, they're part of his church.
Amen.
So it's not just the future. Like one day they'll grow into the church. It's like right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm pumped. I can't wait.
They are all valuable to Jesus.
All right. Anything else, you guys?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Good.
Well, thank you for tuning in. Hope this has been helpful and get you excited for a family service.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like for those of you who don't have kids who'll be in there, man, we recognize that this partnership takes a village. Like I'm so grateful for like people in our church who are past the parenting age who like are now, speaking into my kids' lives. Yeah. I'm thankful for other parents. I'm thankful for like singles in our church who, love me and my kids. So it's like we get to be a big old family as we behave like Jesus in the way we receive kids and demonstrate that they are valuable to him. So I'm excited about it. Thanks for joining us today. If you've got questions or thoughts, send them to warehouse@cornerstone.team. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I guess the warehouse is closed.
It is.
Closed.
It's gone. Done. It's not gone.
It's still there.
Right. It's
Door's
just closed. Yeah, it's just
The lights are off. You can show up.
So I'm going to do